The invitation caused more confusion than concern. That alone was unusual. On the colony of Helios Reach, invitations were typically functional documents. Summons to planning sessions, duty rotations, resource briefings. They arrived with timestamps, agendas, and contingency notes. This one did not. It contained a time, a location, and a phrase that did not translate cleanly: barbecue. The translation engine provided approximations: communal thermal food preparation, social consumption of protein, recreational cooking. None of them explained why it was being held in an open plaza near the residential quarter, or why attendance was described as optional. Optional gatherings were rare in mixed-species settlements. Most species preferred structured interaction, predictable environments, clear expectations. The humans did not seem concerned by the ambiguity. They arrived early. By the time the first non-human residents approached the plaza, a metal cooking frame had already been assembled. Heat shimmered above a broad surface of iron mesh. The air carried unfamiliar scents: salt, fat, smoke. Human civilians moved around the space without urgency. Some wore work clothes, others casual garments, unsuitable for environmental exposure by coalition standards. They spoke while they worked. They laughed. They adjusted equipment with the ease of repetition. Nothing about their posture suggested vigilance. That was the first inconsistency noted by the observer. The colony's mixed species liaison unit arrived shortly after. They stood at the perimeter, not intervening, merely watching. The invitation had not violated any regulation. Fire use was permitted under human safety standards, which had been grandfathered into the settlement charter after prolonged debate. Still, open flame made several species uncomfortable. One alien resident, tall, jointed, wrapped in layered civilian garments, approached the edge of the plaza and stopped. "Is this a ritual?" they asked. A human looked up from the grill. Their hands were there, unprotected. "No," they said. They turned back to their task. The alien remained where they were, uncertain what to do with an answer that dismissed the question entirely. The barbecue did not proceed according to coalition expectations. There was no formal start. Food appeared in batches, not courses. Some items were placed directly onto the heated surface. Others were wrapped, sealed, or suspended above the heat in ways the observer could not immediately categorize. Humans rotated tasks fluidly. Someone who had been tending the grill stepped away to speak with a visitor. Another took their place without instruction. No checklist. No visible hierarchy. It looked disorganized. It was not. A container slipped from a human's grip and struck the ground, splitting open. Hot liquid spilled across the stone surface. The observer noted the reaction times. 2 humans moved immediately, not toward the spill, but toward the perimeter. One redirected foot traffic with a raised hand and a calm word. Another adjusted the grill's heat, compensating for the sudden loss of material. A third human knelt, retrieved the fallen container, and sealed it without gloves. No one shouted, no one froze. The spill was contained, the hazard cleared, and conversation resumed in under 12 seconds. The observer logged the event. Response time comparable to trained emergency crews. Context: recreational gathering. Several non-human residents had drawn closer now, curiosity overtaking caution. They stood in small clusters, watching the humans work, eat, and talk. One asked, "Is there no designated safety officer?" A human smiled. "We all are." Another alien gestured toward the open flame. "And if something goes wrong?" The human considered this while turning a piece of food. "Then we deal with it." This answer did not satisfy the translator's confidence thresholds. As the evening progressed, more humans arrived. Some brought additional equipment. Others brought children, who moved freely between adults, supervised loosely but continuously. A human child approached the grill, was redirected gently, and immediately complied. The observer noted the lack of verbal escalation. No alarm sounded. No warnings were issued. And yet, nothing drifted out of control. At one point, a structural vibration passed through the plaza, minor but detectable. The settlement's industrial sector was active nearby. Several non-human residents stiffened. The humans did not. One human paused mid-sentence, tilted their head slightly, and waited. Another shifted their stance, subtly repositioning themselves between the grill and the crowd. The vibration passed. Conversation resumed. The observer logged another note. Humans continuously monitor environmental risk without signaling distress. Behavior suggests constant low-level readiness. The food was eventually distributed. Humans offered portions to non-human attendees without ceremony. Some accepted. Others declined politely. Those who ate noted the density of the food, the caloric content, the efficiency disguised as indulgence. The observer watched as humans ate, standing, leaning, sitting, never fully disengaged, never visibly on edge. They were relaxed, but not unaware. The gathering ended the same way it began, without announcement. Humans gradually packed equipment, extinguished heat sources, and cleaned the plaza. Waste was separated instinctively, without reference guides. The space returned to its prior state with minimal residue. No incident reports were filed. No injuries occurred. No formal debrief was conducted. And yet, the observer's report grew longer than anticipated. In the days that followed, small changes appeared in the colony's administrative systems. They were subtle. Human social gatherings were no longer classified as non-operational events. The designation had been revised. Category: unstructured activity, human origin. A new advisory note was appended beneath it. Predictive safety modeling, unreliable. Behavioral adaptability, high. Risk profile does not degrade during leisure states. The liaison unit circulated an internal memo recommending that non-human residents treat human recreational events with the same situational awareness afforded to industrial operations. No restrictions were imposed, no warnings issued. Just a quiet acknowledgement that something foundational had been misunderstood. The observer submitted their final note before archiving the file. Humans do not lower readiness when they relax. They redefine what relaxation looks like. The colony plaza remained open. The grill was stored, and the next invitation arrived 3 weeks later. Optional, attendance recommended.